Well, there's the bell. So I guess it's time for school. Hi, seventh graders. I miss you so, so much. I wish you were here in my classroom today. But I am here and I've got my coffee. I am fueled up for the day, and so should you. So we're going to go ahead and pick up right where we left off. But before we do that, guys, I miss you and I love you. And I've been praying for you. And I know this is a really weird time. Like, it's just weird. There's things going on in the world that we're not used to, that we've never experienced. We're going through just a completely different time in our lives and in the world. And so it's okay to wonder what's going to happen next. It's okay to kind of freak out a little bit. But here's what I'm going to encourage you. You have an amazing God who loves you, and he will give you peace, like flat out. He will give you peace, and he will give you the reassurance that you might be seeking. Because I don't know about you, but I'm seeking for that peace and I'm seeking for that reassurance. And the more time that I've been spending with Jesus, the more that I've been able to have more peace and not have as much fear during this time. So I'm, excuse me. I'm so glad you guys are here today. I'm glad that you guys are going to be learning today, and that I get to see you. Well, I don't really get to see you. You see me, though. That's the important part, that you get to see me and learn, and we're just going to keep learning. Like, we have this amazing gift of learning, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to let Corona get us down, okay? We are still going to learn, and we're still going to have just as much fun. So right now, I want you to go ahead and get out your HBS, so your yellow packet. Get it out right now. Go. Okay, good. I'm glad you have your HBS. So we have studied so far the skeletal system. We have talked about its major functions. We've talked about different bones that protect us, the longest bone, the smallest bone, what bone is made of. And then we talked about the muscular system. Okay, we talked about 3 different types of muscles. We have skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. We talked about tendons and how they connect muscles to bone. We're talking about muscle memory, exercising, fun facts. Then we talked about the circulatory system, which is made up of 3 main organs. We have the heart, we have the blood, and we have the blood vessels, okay? These are the 3 things that make up the circulatory system. We talked about the blood flow in the heart. We talked about the different types of blood vessels, and then we talked about the respiratory system. So this is when we talked about how we breathe and the importance of breathing. Then we talked about the digestive system. That's a one that we just talked about in class when we saw each other. I miss you so much. So we talked about how food provides us with energy and vitamins and minerals and things that our body needs, right? We need these things. We need the nutrients so that it can go into our cells, and so that our cells can have enough energy to function and allow us to live. And then we talked about the 5 major stages of the digestive system. Step number 1, chewing. We have to chew it up and make it smaller. And then we have saliva, which has enzymes in it, and it breaks down the food even more. Stage 2, we swallow. Our esophagus is lined with muscles that help wiggle the food down as we swallow. And from the esophagus, it goes into the stomach. This is where it hangs around for about 4 hours. Your enzymes will break down, and it'll just get a lot smaller. And then we have our small intestine. So from the stomach, okay, it'll go into the small intestine. And this is where the small intestine will do 2 things. Okay, the small intestine does 2 things. The first part is it takes juices from the liver and the pancreas and helps break down the food even more. So we have saliva in our mouth that breaks it down. We have hydrochloric acid in our stomach that breaks it down. And we also have juices from the liver and pancreas to continue to break down our food in the first part of the small intestines. The second part is where the food gets absorbed from the intestines and into our body through blood. So our small intestine will actually start to absorb all the nutrients that we need and give it to our body. And then stage 5, we talked about the large intestine. This is the exit for the food in the body. That, like, the exit is basically anything that the body doesn't use. So anything that the small intestine did not absorb, that the body doesn't need, it's going to continue to pass through the large intestine. And then out through poop. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the excretory system. Okay, so go ahead and you're going to open up your HBS to the excretory system. I think actually in yours it might say urinary system. We're going to talk about what those two words mean. Okay, so you should go ahead and turn to the urinary system. And as you are listening to this video, you are going to be writing down notes. Make them creative. Okay, just like if you were in class. I have the exact same expectations. I'm not going to require you to turn in your notes as of now, but I expect you to have a good honor system and to be doing what you're supposed to, okay? Because even though I'm not watching, he is. So let's talk about the excretory system and take notes as we follow. Remember, this is a video, so you can play and pause as you like. So there are three main parts of the excretory system. So excretory, I want you to think of the word exit. It's anything that exits your body, okay? The excretory system, the exit system. So there are three main things that exit your body. Number one is sweat. Sweat is a salty liquid that is released through your pores, through your skin. Exhaling, okay, if you think about it, when we breathe out, it's something that exits our body. And then producing urine and feces, pee and poop. These things exit our body. So sweating, exhaling, and producing urine and feces, all three of these are part of the excretory system. It's things that leave our body. So the function of this system is to completely eliminate cellular waste through the lungs, skin, kidneys, and digestive systems, okay? So we're eliminating waste from our cells that we do no longer need. Our body doesn't need it, so why waste up space? We're gonna go ahead and get rid of any cellular waste that is in our body. So those are the three main types. And fun fact, you know how I love my fun facts, the average person pees about 3,000 times a year. That's crazy. Okay, moving on. So let me go back. So today we're actually not going to be focusing on sweating. We're not going to be focusing on exhaling. Today we're going to be focusing on producing urine and feces. Okay, we're going to be, or mostly urine. So this is why it's kind of the excretory system and the urinary system, because the urinary system is part of the excretory system. The excretory system is this giant system that has little systems in between. Just like we talked about cardiovascular. Cardiovascular has a muscular system, and the respiratory system and the circulatory system all together, kind of an overhanging word. So here, excretory system, right? We have three different types, and one of those types we're going to zoom in to, and that's producing urine. So let's talk about the urinary system. So there are three main types of waste removal, okay, just like we talked about. We talked about sweating, we talked about exhaling. Today we're going to be focusing on urine and feces. So the kidneys are the main part of the urinary system. They remove all types of cellular waste products from your blood. So literally any waste that cells have that they do no longer need, they put it into your bloodstream. Okay. And then your blood will pass through your kidneys, and your kidneys take some of that blood and basically filters it out. It figures out what is important to keep. What does the body need to keep from the blood? And what needs to go away? What needs to be gone out of this body because it doesn't need it any longer. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But we'll go ahead and chat about sweating and exhaling. So your skin is part of the excretory system and the integumentary system. So if you think about it, sweat, it exits your body, but through what? Your skin. And your skin is part of your integumentary system. So waste produces such as excess salts and other types of liquids, they are released through your skin as sweat. And then exhaling, your lungs are part of the excretory system and the respiratory system, of course. And this is because lungs release water and toxic carbon dioxide when you exhale. So you don't need carbon dioxide. Why keep it in your body? You're going to exhale it. You're going to get rid of it. You're going to make it exit through your body. So we're going to be talking about the urinary system. Okay, the urinary system is a little system underneath the excretory system. So this is where your notes are super important. You should have already been taking notes, but if not, now is the time. Okay, so the urinary system basically has four main parts. Okay, we're going to go in order. First, the kidneys. Okay, so blood is going to travel. Thanks. So blood is going to travel through your kidneys, and your kidneys are going to filter out what is important and what is not. Okay, then it's going to pass through a tube called a ureter. Yes, I want you to say it. Ureter. After it passes through this little tube called the ureter, then it's going to go into the bladder. And the bladder is kind of like a storage facility. Okay, it's going to store urine until it's ready to be released. And then once it is ready to be released, it's going to go through the urethra. So let's talk about what the kidneys are. The kidneys move waste from blood through structures called nephrons. So what nephrons are, I'm pretty sure you have about 1 million in each kidney. You have 2 kidneys, okay, pictured here. So each kidney has these structures called nephrons, and what they do is they sort through what's important. They say, oh, this is waste. We can get rid of it. Oh, the body needs to keep this. We're going to keep it. So as you can see in this picture, you have a vein, which is deoxygenated blood, and then we have an artery, which is oxygenated blood. So the blood is passing through the kidneys. The kidneys are attached to one main artery and one main vein. And so what that does is it allows the blood to pass through the kidneys and go through the nephrons, so the nephrons can sort out what needs to be kept in the body and what needs to be released as waste. And then we have these tubes in the kidneys, okay, that collect waste, and water joins the waste to form a liquid called urine. So this is where kidneys are producing urine. This is where urine is first produced, is by your kidneys, okay? It's the leftover stuff. So when your nephrons are sorting through, oh, we need to keep this. Oh, we need to get rid of this. All the stuff that it's getting rid of comes out as pee or urine. Okay. Fun fact, your kidneys filter through 45 gallons of blood per day. What? That's crazy. So 45 gallons of blood are passing through your artery and your veins through your kidneys a day. 45 gallons. That's 45 jugs of milk a day. Craziness. Crazy. So we started at the kidneys. And then from the kidneys, it's going to pass to the ureter, okay? So these are these tubes right here. So here are our kidneys, and the urine is going to pass through these tubes, okay? It's a very, very thin tube called a ureter, and it connects the kidney to the bladder. So here we have the kidney, down here we have the bladder, and this is just, the ureter is just a small tube that allows the urine to filter through all the way down to the bladder. Fun fact, each ureter is a narrow tube, and it's about 12 inches long. So it's about 1 foot long, and you have 2 of them, remember? You have 1 kidney, 2 kidney. So you have 2 different ureters. All right, moving on to the bladder. So as you can see in this picture, the ureter connects to the bladder. So here we have the bladder. After the urine is made in the kidneys, okay, so bladder's made in the kidneys, it passes through the ureter, and now it is transported to the bladder. So the bladder is kind of like a sac-like organ, and it stores urine until it's ready to be released. That's why sometimes when you feel like you have to go to the bathroom, but you're like, I could wait, it's because your bladder isn't completely full. But when it's completely full, it's time to go. So what's really cool about the bladder is it actually has a muscle around here that you can see. Okay, that's muscle. And so what that allows you to do is to be able to hold your pee or to be able to go pee. But it's a way for us to control our bladder. So if people say, oh, you can't control your bladder, or oh, you have a really small bladder, I mean, it's a big part of our muscles. Our muscles that are lined in the bladder allow us to hold it or to be able to go. So your bladder is about the size and shape of a pear. So think about a pear, like the fruit, okay? It's about the same size and shape. So next destination we have in the urinary system is the urethra. So this is the final teeny tiny tube that passes through. It's only a few inches long, and this is where urine exits the bladder through a small tube called the urethra. Okay, so here's the urethra in this diagram, and this is when it is finally released and out of the body. So right now, I want you to go ahead and go back into Canvas. We are done with notes for today, and you are going to take notes on the diagram for the urinary system. So there will be a second video. You just need to go back to the same assignment link you're in and click on the second video, and then I will help you fill out the diagram for the urinary system. Thanks for watching.